Hi and welcome to a new session with your wishes and questions. I'm Susanne Jönsson and I'm the founder of Soul Heart Journey School. This time it's a mixed bag. I received questions on entirely different topics and I thought it might be fun to mix it up a little. And here are some of your questions. How do I deal with someone close to me having a big control issues? This can lead to a lot of practical issues in life. What is a depression? Is it always clinical or are there other ways of looking at it? And I actually choose to widen this question and rather ask, illness, physical or mental? Are there different ways of looking at them? And the final question this time. I read instructions on how to do a regression on myself. Is this a good thing to do? But first, I'd like to start by asking you, when are you using the techniques you've been taught to feel good? Is it when you're feeling well or when you're feeling out of balance? Or perhaps in both situations? Here on the member site, you can learn how to reach your inner knowledge, how to consciously live from your heart, and thereby make good decisions that are good for you as well as those around you. Decisions based on love and respect. At the same time, you will acquire inner balance and well-being. You can also learn how to handle stress, set boundaries, and break old patterns, and so on. You can learn how to do all this and so much more on our member site, but unless you're actually using what you learn, well, then there's really no point, is there? To anchor in your heart and tune your way into your heart is easy. It takes you less than 5 minutes. And this is the only thing you need to do to gain access to all your inner tools. Perhaps this is an easy thing to choose to do when you're already feeling good. And this is when you do it to feel even better. But the most important thing to remember, it is when you're feeling bad that you really need to use your tools. When life gets rough, your knowledge and your tools can help you to deal with your problems. It doesn't mean that life's getting easier, but you will become stronger, and as such you will more easily find the strength to deal with the situation you're facing and do something about it. Use your knowledge, use your tools. Do it when you are in a good place to feel even better. And more importantly, use them whenever you're feeling bad to better cope with the situation at hand. And you have to do it every day because you need them. Let's move on to the questions. How do I deal with someone close to me having big control issues? This can lead to a lot of practical issues in life. And how can I handle this with the love and respect for myself as well as for the person it concerns? Control issues aren't an easy subject. We all need a certain level of control in our lives to be able to function and handle all the practical aspects of life. However, for different reasons, it's quite common that the level of control is much higher than it needs or should be. So try this if you're affected by someone else's control issues at work. To start with, it's important to remember that we can never change another human being. We can only change ourselves and the way we are related to the situation. Always be in your bubble. You can get this bubble activated by a holistic healing therapist or in the online course about light bodies at step 5. Try looking at the controlling person from another perspective. Perhaps this person is your boss, and with him or her lays a greater responsibility than you are realizing. Maybe that person is a colleague who has the same amount of experience as you do, but who, if you look below the surface, is really insecure and then tries to overcompensate it by controlling everything. Or perhaps the person is an adult crystal child who has created all of this control to be able to handle life. A lot of adult crystal childs do that. There could be any number of reasons why someone has a big control issues. And if you can understand why that is, it becomes easier for you to handle it. When you find yourself in a situation caused by someone else's control issues, do like this. Take a deep breath. Tune yourself down to your heart. You're not in your heart when you're feeling annoyed. Repeat your affirmation. I love myself. I deserve to feel great. I love myself. I deserve to feel great. And think, out of love and respect, I let everyone be exactly the way they are. And this actually helps you. But if it doesn't help, if you're still affected, Of love and respect for yourself, you must set clear boundaries on how you let other people treat you. You have to tell this person how you experience it, and together you can work on finding a better solution. This is possible once you can understand why the person has control issues. Then it becomes easier for you to suggest a solution that works for both of you. Next question. What is a depression? Is it always clinical, or are there other ways of looking at it? And I actually choose to widen this question and ask, illness, physical or mental, are there different ways of looking at them? Naturally, we can view illness from different perspectives in order to be able to deal with them effectively. We need to find the underlying cause of that particular illness. The way I see it, there are simply put only 3 types of illness, and all kinds of diseases can be categorized under all of the 3 following groups. Take a common cold. We can categorize it in under group 1, 2 and 3. This is also the case when it comes to stress, headaches, migraine, so on. But also when it comes to more severe diseases and problems. In order to treat the illness, we need to understand the underlying factors, and we can detect them more easily once we understand where the client's problems originate from. Group 1. You have created the problem. This is by far the biggest group. About 70 to 80% of all illness that affect us fall into this category. These are ones you created yourself, unconsciously of course. You create diseases by the things you eat and drink, by the way you treat yourself physically as well as mentally, and with your thoughts and actions. Naturally, we are affected by the environment, pollution in the air and the water, inadequate nutrition from the foods we are eating because the soil is depleted of vitamins and minerals. The huge flow of information in our society is affecting our brains in different ways, and all the radiation we are exposed to everywhere is affecting our energy system. The key is making the client to understand what they can do instead. Perhaps it's about setting new boundaries or finding the courage to stand up for themselves. Maybe it's about lack of self-love, or the client need food supplement, or stop eating unhealthy food. Turning off mobile phones and computers at night to minimize exposure to radiation and so on. You just have to search. There is always a reason. You have to look below or behind. Paulo Coelho said, stress, anxiety and depression are caused when we are living to please others. And that is actually true. Group 2, it's written in your plan. This is about what you have written in your plan before you were born. This is where you'll find around 15 to 20% of all illness. You have planned it before you were born to help you reach the most important goals in your life. Consider that these are decisions made by you from the other side. They were made of the great respect of who you are. When something is really important in your bigger plan, and this could be your life's purpose or your life's lesson, then you also added a plan to help you achieve your goal. You created a specific path for you to follow in order to help you to learn what you are supposed to. Let's say that you, for example, are meant to learn how to trust the love you have for yourself. There have probably been numerous of possibilities for you to learn this in life, but you haven't quite got it to the point where you actually trust it. This is where you get sick. Perhaps you become depressed because then you will be forced to work on the love that you have for yourself in order to heal on a deeper level. And then we have group 3. I call this the Ooops group, the last and smallest group, only about 5 to 10%, then that is tops. This is a group that a lot of people with spiritual knowledge doesn't believe exists. This is the Ooops group, where things simply went wrong, where a body develops a disease that wasn't in your plan to happen, nor the result of lifestyle diseases that falls under group 1. The body has simply acted in a way that it wasn't intended to. This group can be actually difficult to treat. There are no really underlying factors to deal with. Here it's all about pursuing the body, making it want to heal, and being able to explain how this can be done. So this is not created, it's not in your plan, it just happened. This is the Ooops group. And the final question. I read instruction on how to do a regression on myself. Is this a good thing to do? You can find instruction on how to do a regression on yourself easily. I myself would never dare to try it. So the short answer is no, this is not a good idea. Why not? Firstly, you need to understand what a regression is. It's about going back in time and actually experience the feelings or reactions that you had at that time. How far back in time you go is impossible to know before you start. It could be something that happened in this life or in past life. Then, why do you do a regression? Usually it's about needing to understand something here and now. It could be a reaction to something that happened that has deep impact on you. It could be about physical or mental issues that for some reason won't heal, or something similar. There's usually a reason why you want to experience a regression or feel the need to it. And often these reasons are neither easy or pleasant. But naturally you can do a regression just for fun, without any specific purpose. But often you have a reason for it. But regardless the reason, the same thing happens every time. You see, it's your soul or your higher self that decides what you need to look at right now. You can't control what's going to happen in a real regression. It's entirely up to your soul to show what you need to experience. And this means that it's usually something we need to learn or understand that we will meet in a regression. And as always, this is usually something that's hard for us to experience or look at. Otherwise, you don't need to see it. When you go through a regression, you have to be able to turn back to yourself. You have to feel good when you have done it, and you need to have all the parts of yourself with you when you return. If you do a regression and experience a traumatic experience, you really need help dealing with it. You need help getting yourself out of the regression safe and sound, and you need help observing what's happening. It's dangerous and harmful to too fast finish the regression. This could lead to soul traumas for a long period to come. And this is the main reason for always engaging a skilled and safe person by your side. If it gets hard, that person can help you see what you need to learn from it, as well as make sure that you are safe during the process. And I myself have gone through enough of regression to know that I can't control my own experience, nor can I handle them when it's hard and I'm on my own. I'd never even think about doing a regression on my own. I simply won't dare. The risk is too great. So if you need to try a regression, go to a skilled therapist and you will get the assistance and the support that you need. And actually a regression can be a very good experience under the right circumstances. This is it for now. Please keep sending in your wishes and questions. Until next time, thank you and goodbye.